All right, beautiful people, thousand freaking X, baby. Christopher Greene here. It is Thanksgiving week, so I'm out visiting some family out on the mainland, and God bless all of you tuning in. Jesus Christ is King. I stand with all of you, so happy Thanksgiving to every single person, male and female, and whatever else tuning in. A kind of funny story, and again, I don't discriminate against anybody, but I was at an appointment earlier this week, and they asked me what sex I was at birth. I was like, last time I checked, male. But again, this is a sign and kind of just shows you where we are in America. Never before did I think at 41 years old that someone would have the balls, quite frankly, to ask me what sex I was at birth. I mean, it should be pretty obvious. I've got a fat goatee and have testosterone boiling through my entire body like a real patriotic American who loves freedom and liberty. But we've had a lot in the news here. November 23rd, 2022, there was a tragic event, we'll just call it that, at a Walmart, and 6 people passed along with the lone individual who I'm not going to mention his name. And this just occurred earlier today, last night, I guess, very recently. So here's a question. People like Alex Jones are being sued for over $1 billion, an egregious $1 billion, for being a media figure and simply asking questions. Will Walmart be sued because they hired the manager and the perpetrator of this said event that cost the lives of 6 innocents, including that guy, by failing to properly screen this individual before hiring him and, basically screening him for insanity and placing him in charge in a managerial position? Will people like Warren Buffett, that are the outstanding high-level share owners of this company, also be held accountable? Just like will Forbes and Fortune and the Democratic Party be held accountable for SBF, propping him up as a Wall Street darling billionaire who was going to solve the weather and climate and singing his praises as the next blockchain trillionaire, when it turned out essentially he was basically working for them on the inside the whole time, and now his company has collapsed. Where is the accountability for Fortune 100 regarding people like that and the companies and the media propping these people up? So I just wanted to comment on that. I found that very interesting. And also just the general direction of where we're headed. They tell us what they're going to do. Trust the freaking plan. We know what is next. So what is next? What's going to happen next? And this is what I think a lot of you are missing, by the way. You're missing this. People are looking for like a 1929 deflation spiral. That's not going to happen. This is a pause before the hyperinflationary reset into CBDCs. Notice that they're rolling out real IDs, okay? The real IDs to buy or sell, to get on an airplane, to travel, to be able to buy food, etc. All of this is a part of the plan, that you will own nothing according to them and you will be happy. The only way they get to universal basic income is by destroying the middle class, so where you can't afford stuff. This is why I tell you to get out of the banks. You should be getting out of the banks now. You shouldn't have any of your money or any cash at a bank. In fact, there's no difference between SBF, other failed financial companies like MF Global. Remember that guy, John Corzine? Borrowed customer assets on Wall Street and then went bust. Remember when Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, and others went bust in 2008-09? The only difference between them and SBF is they've got an open market committee window at the central bank and unlimited bailout money. That's the only difference between the fractional reserve system that SBF was running and the too big to fail banks run. It's the same darn thing. But this is an inflationary collapse. It's a collapse of fiat dollars. So the Fed, which I also told you is pivoting, and they're pivoting now, it came out with more minutes today that said just that. Yeah, instead of 75 bips, guys, instead of 75 bips, they're only going to raise 50 bips, and then 25, and then 0, and then they're going to start cutting. We are already exceeding the budget on the interest payments alone of the extraordinary $31 trillion worth of debt that spends more money than the entire Defense Department. This is an insolvent, bankrupt country by design to transfer us into the new system. Blockchain technologies, digital currencies, the Chinese yuan, the US dollar equivalent, etc. So this isn't going to stop. Inflation isn't going to stop. Inflation is here to stay. This is what they actually want to monetize the debt. So it's very scary how they're wiping out the middle class right now and absolutely destroying your real wealth. This is why you need physical assets. It's why you need gold and silver. You should be buying right now at AMTVgold.com. You should be getting your money out of the banks before capital controls and bank runs, which is what is going to happen next. Look at the billionaire elites. What are they doing? They have all their feet outside the door. They have 5 passports. They're getting out of the United States. They're setting up in Cyprus. Eric Schmidt, one of the big heads of Google. Where's he at now? Cyprus. He's getting out. Where are people like Peter Thiel? They're setting up multiple passports around the world. They're buying up real assets. They're buying Maui, for example. They're getting out of U.S. banks. We see this with a lot of hedge fund managers, all the Wall Street guys, all those thugs. They're out, and who are they favoring? China. And guess what's happening now? Chinese protests at Foxconn, I think it is called. People dressed up in white suits, and they're protesting Apple computers because they're not getting the wages that they want. They have no quality of life. They're working 6 to 7 days a week without really suitable pay. How about them apples? How come the liberal left isn't bitching about that? How come we don't see complaining about that? And all of the phones and technologies that we have that are exploiting low-level labor jobs in second and third world destinations. And now they're moving even from China, and they're going other places, not just there, and exploiting that even further. So we're seeing the Fed weaken itself, which we know they're weak. We know they've been bluffing. We know that they're pivoting. This is also the buying opportunity of a lifetime, by the way, for those of you not paying attention. Bitcoin's going to sail well above $1 million+, I think, in the next decade. That's going to happen. You should be buying now. This is the #1 asset class in the world, blockchain technology. Technologies like Ethereum, XRP, the Island Project, which is a real asset which could never go to zero. You realize that, right? Island Project in our private real estate portfolio is an asset backed by land, backed by actual real estate and the income cap rate cash flows in Maui. That can't go to zero. If there's a nuclear war, economic failure, grid down scenario, EMP, World War III, or nukes, our portfolio will be worth more. You see, every blockchain tech theoretically and technically can go to zero, just like every U.S. stock in the U.S. stock market and just like every Fortune 100 bank. But actual real assets like gold and silver, no, that's a store of value. Land, like what Island Project owns, real estate, homes, and the income, especially on those assets, can't go to zero. Even if the valuation of real estate changes and goes down, for example, and you're still earning income, you still have a cash flow producing asset. Same thing with dividend stocks. However, the difference is it's an IOU on a piece of paper that you actually don't own. So our investors in Island Project, for example, and same thing when you own gold and silver, you own that stuff. It can't go anywhere. It's a value play and a legacy asset you can give to your kids. So I just want you to understand this is when the American people wake up to the fact that inflation is permanent, that this is a hyperinflationary collapse, that real estate's going to go up another 20%. It's going to go up 30, 50, 100%. Real estate prices have already tripled in some spots of the country. We are in a pause right now, in a pivot point to take advantage of the opportunity before things skyrocket once again. Because at the end of the day, the Fed is going to monetize. America is bankrupt. They've got to monetize. They've got to cut rates. They got to create more debt and more inflation. They can't stop at 31 trillion. This is why they've printed more currency in the history of the world in the last couple years. Literally, guys, if you look at a chart, they've printed more currency in the history of civilization in the last 2 or 3 years. So they can't turn off the spigot of inflation. They can't do that. As I roll up my window here, they can't do that. It's impossible. It's mathematically implausible and impossible. You can just punch the numbers on this. So this is a massive inflationary event. It is also a destruction of sovereignty, America, Americana, your ability to have freedom, choices. Well, they're asking you what your sex was at birth. okay, but not solving the corruption and the rigged nature of the entire financial political system here in the United States, where my brothers died in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, and they are less free today. They can't even afford their freaking rent, or they lost their lives, and their families are worse off, and you weren't allowed to travel or put your kids in school over the last couple of years. And we are being asked stupid questions like what your sex was at birth, yet failing to take this country back. Again, the solution is you. The solution is in the private market, building projects like the Island Project and more. Building and tokenizing communities. It's by getting your money out of the bank and buying and owning real assets like gold and silver, which I encourage you to do that and support us. And click the link below at amtvgold.com and get our American Patriot metal bars. Get our Archangel Michael gold and silvers. Get our Sovereign Mint silvers. Buy as many as you can here before the holidays. Get what you need. Get out of the banks and actually support people and causes that have real mission statements, a common vision and purpose for the future. They don't want you to know your true power, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want you to know collectively we have the power. The American people have the power. When we fought the Redcoats, we did that in distributed, decentralized fashion while they were banging drums and making it obvious, who the leadership was. American patriots came out of the wilderness and we took this country and we declared independence and we had a 1776. And by the way, we weren't being taxed then either. I mean, we threw tea and dumped it out into the ocean over a tea tax. Now there's income tax, there's capital gains tax, there's sales tax, there's property taxes. Even if you own your property outright and you can't pay your taxes because you're 90 and can't work anymore, they'll confiscate your property. And by the way, Island Project has a solution for that as well. Our trust, so to speak, okay? Island Project and the managerial company that we operate along with my team, myself, my father, and our team of consultants even takes care of that. We pay all the operating expenses and taxes on your behalf. So it's a legacy asset that they can't take from you, that is distributed worldwide, that connects via these aisle chains. We're going to have property in Arizona. We are going to have ski lodges in domestic United States. We will be internationalizing just like the elites and billionaire class are, where you can travel around the world at discounted rates and stay at properties that you fractionally truly own. Tokenizing a network community, and then I'm putting all of this on the blockchain 1000x. We don't have any debt because I believe we're in a credit collapse crisis default, so we don't want any debt. But once I go live with the blockchain, I reward all those founders that got in. That's how we can potentially 1000x. People ask me that question. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Read more at islandproject.com. Click the members tab, and you should be registering and fund it. You should get in and own shares today, just like a stock, just like when you buy Apple. You own the Island Project shares. 30 shares equals 30,000. 100 shares equals 100,000. You can fund that right through Portal today. We accept ACH, wire transfer, credit cards, which I probably wouldn't use, and also blockchain. So any crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, whatever you guys want to own, we have a third-party trust account as well with insurance. So if you want to use crypto, which we prefer, to onboard the Island Project, get in. You get a W-9 each year at project build-out, which means you get paid income every single year in addition to large capital gains, in addition to the tokenization event for all the founders. Like when XRP went live, guys, you didn't get a phone call and get in the founders round. You had to buy in the aftermarket after they 1000x'd. Island Project is on the ground floor where you're a founder. Once we funded our total fundraise of 33.5 and we're almost there, we'll never do that again. There will never be any more founders of Island Project. It will never be democratized like it is in this moment. So when you're, gobbling it up here for Thanksgiving and probably meeting family that disagree with your politics, that aren't standing for freedom and liberty, you should be standing up for yourself. You should be standing up with us at Island Project. I just got off the phone with a great guy, Brian. You know who you are. God bless you, man. He's onboarding Island Project. He's already in the club. I'll have the links below. You can go into both of those. Private placement, the club is our world-class community. Both are excellent opportunities. But stand up for yourself. Realize you've got to be the solution, ladies and gentlemen, but it's going to get bad. An inflationary debt collapse here in the United States, where the dollar and U.S. fiat and the petrodollar is worthless. Well, if you look at the last 3 years, you are less free than you've ever been before. You're less wealthy if you weren't smart and pivoting with us. You're less free. You can't travel as easily. They're rolling out real IDs, and we know what that's tying into. We know where that's going. All of this is a permanent structural change of humanity. Leads to some really damning things in the future that are not just political, but spiritual in nature. And, we'll get into that in a separate video and a separate topic. It's going to get rough, guys. It's going to get rough. But I'm telling you, be optimistic here and realize you can pivot into this wave. You can freaking hang 10 with us. 1,000 freaking X. Real men and real women. You can get in now. You can build something new and do a whole lot of good for the community. Island Project is going to make people rich, make them a lot of money. Income, capital gains, tokenization, but we're also doing good stuff on the ground. We are the first billionaire Christian coalition that's ever been built in this country and around the world that is changing the game and riding the largest technological innovation revolution in human civilization history. We're building the digital Noah's Ark. Get in. I love you guys. God bless. I want to hear your thoughts, comments, questions in the box below. By the way, we are pivoting today. Cryptos are up. Again, this is a buying opportunity. You should be getting in. When people say fear, buy the fear. When they say crypto and blockchain is over, go all in my humble opinion. When they say something is done, that means it's just beginning. Bitcoin will sail to 1 million plus in the coming years, and you'll have missed it again. Island Project will sail 1,000 freaking X into the ether sphere, building out the digital Noah Ark. It will be replicated as a worldwide brand all over the world. Get in now. Empower yourself, and I stand with all of you. I love you. God bless you. Jesus Christ is King. You, through God, your spiritual awareness, tapping into that infinite nature is where the power lies, which is why they brainwash you. They send your kids to institutions, okay? They aim to control you so you're obedient and you don't think for yourself, and they take your rights away, just like what we saw in recent years. And all of these changes are permanent unless you stand up and build something different. So anyways, guys, that's what built America. That's what built this country. That's what made it so friggin' amazing. That entrepreneurial spirit, that Americana, that fire in the gut to go kick some major butt. Do it with us at islandproject.com. That's islandproject.com. And also consider islandprojectclub.com. The Academy, islandprojectclub.com. Links below. And buy gold. Get amtvgold.com today. That's amtvgold.com today. That's amtvgold.com. Click the link below and stack as much gold and silver as you can before a hyper Bitcoinization, dollar collapse, economic collapse, capital controls in the United States of America, and inflation that is going to rip your freaking shirt off in the coming year. It's happening right now. The Fed is pivoting. Just like they said inflation was transitory, it's not. Inflation is permanent. This is a reset. This is a move to CBDCs, digital currencies, and a whole lot more. So you want real store value, you want real assets like gold and silver, and you should do it with us today at the links below. I'm Christopher Greene, hard hitting it in your face. God bless, and Jesus Christ is King. Ladies and gentlemen, there's not a better time to buy gold and silver than right now this Thanksgiving week. Place your order, secure your gold and silver, buy our sovereign mints, get our Archangel Michael's gold and silver, get the American Patriot metal bars while we still have them in stock. Get out of the banks. Inflation is a killer right now. Inflation will continue. You need a real store of wealth and a real store of value prior to the capital controls that I believe will be implemented in the United States and around the world very, very soon. Buy gold and buy silver with us today. Do it at amtvgold.com. That's amtvgold.com. Thank you for your patronage. I love all you. Place your order so you can lock and get it in before the holidays, and we can rush delivery to your door. You can check with us at support at amtvmedia.com for any order tracking updates. Thank you for your patronage. God bless, and Jesus Christ is King. That's amtvgold.com. amtvgold.com. Links below and up here.